What is good, y'all? Welcome back to my channel, and today we have a cheesesteak mukbang. This cheesesteak is from Capriottis. I also have salt and vinegar chips here as well. Hers salt and vinegar chips as well, just my preference. I love salt and vinegar with anything from Capriottis. The cheesesteak is probably my second favorite sandwich from there. They also make a good Italian, and the Bobby, which I've had on here before. On this cheesesteak, I have ketchup, hot peppers, sweet peppers, and grilled onions. I'm also going to be reviewing the movie Hidden Figures as well today. That was requested by Jay Blast. But let's get into this delicious cheesesteak first because I am hungry. And I also have some water here to the side. Oh yeah, I have fudge covered mint Oreos right here as a sweet treat to end it off. I like to have a little sweet treat at the end when I remember. But let's get into this steak first. That's a little close-up of her. You'll get all the details in there, but trust me, I got the green peppers. Oh, excuse me, the hot peppers and the sweet peppers, I'm sorry. Mm. 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 Delicious. Mm. Mm. I'm glad I chose Capriottis. They got a good bun. The bread is, I believe it's Amoroso rolls, but the bread is of high importance. And as you can see, this bread is sturdy. The filling, the meat, and all the ingredients aren't weighing it down. Which, as anyone who's watched my channel for a while, you know that's a big pet peeve of mine. I know why I put it down. Mm. The hot peppers and sweet peppers are a must. Absolute must. Mmm. So good. There's a few different cheesesteak places. Places I can get cheesesteaks by in Delaware. There's a place called Claymont Cheesesteaks. There's a place called Amalfi. That's not too far away. I believe that's in Newark as well. The halal place I go to, Flame Gyro and Kebab. There's another halal place, I forget the name. They also make a great cheesesteak. What else is it? And yeah, Capriottis, Claymont cheesesteaks are good. A few different places. I chose this purely out of convenience. It just was on my way. I was like, I want a cheesesteak today. But I was like, I don't know where to go. I chose Capriottis, and I'm glad I did. Because it's very more compact. Because I was going to go to Claymont. That was my original thought. And Claymont's is just huge, which is good, and it's absolutely delicious. So, nothing against it. But this is just easy. It's easy to eat. It's delicious. All the flavor is right there. Mm. Delicious. Mm. And I prefer ketchup. Q gets mayo. I know some people get mayo. I'm just not a big mayo guy on a cheesesteak. I only like mayo on like a turkey sandwich, personally. Mm. is my favorite type of weather outside, guys. Nice and dreary, a little bit rainy. I love those cloudy days. If people don't like cloudy days, I love them. I love them. It's just, I don't know, it's a certain mood and atmosphere. That's what I like in my movies as well. I like just like kind of like an eerie atmosphere, especially like my horror movies. But today we are not reviewing a horror movie. We are reviewing Hidden Figures, and it was directed by Terrence Melfi and stars Taraji P. Henson, Janelle Monae, and Octavia Spencer. So 3 of our best actresses around right now were in this movie. I'm mad I didn't get to see it in the theaters. It was one of those I wanted to see, but you know, I wasn't rearranging my schedule to go see it. It was a great movie to watch for this. It was, I wanted to watch it. It was a movie I wanted to see, so I'm glad that Jay Blash requested it. So the 3 actresses I just mentioned play Catherine, Mary, and Dorothy, who all work at NASA. It's 1961, so we're in the heat of the space race. NASA is at its absolute prime. It's super popular. John F. Kennedy's president. We're trying to beat the Russians into space. I still don't know why. I think that's a contest, that type of thing. I'm not gonna say the words, but it was just like, oh yeah, we're better than you, that type of thing. But whatever, and they played a major role in it. These 3 women are extremely intelligent, like at a high level, knowing how to do math. And I'm gonna tell a little, just kind of something that it hit me at the beginning of the movie. Just in 1 second, let me get another bite of this steak. Oh my, oh. Delicious. So they work when you get introduced to the character, and the opening scene is very cool, a little bit funny, and that's why I like that this movie was a little bit more light than some of the other movies I've been reviewing. It's still a great story. There's still some tension in there, but it's overall just very easy. It's very palatable, and it doesn't need to be too overly intense. And that's what I liked about it. The opening scene kind of sets the mood. These women are they're very smart. They got attitude, they got personality, and the opening scene was just very funny. So I definitely recommend this movie. So starting that off. So Catherine, they all work in the computers area of NASA. And at this time, still even NASA was segregated. Now that segregation comes to pass because they realize that this is silly. Kevin Costner plays like the head of the space program. I just know his last name is Harrison. Kevin Costner did pretty good. I'm weird with him. I kind of like, he's kind of in some movie. He's just always just so stoic, and he's just like always a good guy. It's like Tom Hanks. He's like a different version of Tom Hanks. Anyway, like they realized, listen, all this segregation stuff is not worth it. We're trying to beat the Russians to space, and we're not gonna be held back by your silly laws. Because Catherine, played by Taraji P. Henson, is like, she's the math whiz. She can sit down there and crunch numbers, and getting trajectories for the rockets and stuff is extremely important in the space race. Got some chips in my teeth. So she's working directly with Kevin Costner's characters, working on the space program. Dorothy is played by Octavia Spencer, who brings her usual sass to the role. There's no better actress. I think she's one of the best actresses right now out. She did a horror movie I reviewed called Ma. Not to get too off topic of the movie, but she's a tremendous actress. She brings an attitude, and I always like her personality. She captures her characters very well. You can tell she knows them and she's in touch with them. So she plays Dorothy, who's more... So she like leads the segregated part of the women who are doing the computing. And the one thing I was going to say is the room says like computers. And I'm like, all right, so where are I thought they were going to be sitting at like a desk and typing. But they are the literal computers. Like, we've been so conditioned, or at least I have, been so conditioned to think of computers as this physical object. I think a lot of us can relate to that. So I never, thought that these people were the computers. Now, obviously, it takes them longer to do the math, but these were some of the most intelligent minds, and they were breaking solutions and doing different problem solving for different functions at NASA. But yeah, and Dorothy is kind of like the supervisor, and she's trying to be the boss, but she keeps getting overlooked for two reasons. One, she's African American, and two, she's a woman. So these women have all those two things working against them, and they overcome them despite their obstacles. And Mary, played by Janelle Monae, she plays she is trying to become an engineer, so working directly on the spaceship. So they're all and it was cool because they're all buddies, they're all friends, they hang out. Now I don't know how much of this was Hollywooded up, so I'm just going along for the ride. You know that my feeling on biopics, if you watch my other reviews, how Hollywood can kind of change history, but I just kind of went along for the ride. It was cool to see. I like seeing friend movies, and these women have each other to rely on. They all have one thing in common, is that they are of high intellect, and they're all very good at science and math and those types of things. I'm terrible at those stuff. When I was in school, math class, I had some good math teachers who were very patient with me and helped me out, and my mom, I had to go to the tutoring center for my math because I was just not good at it. I just didn't care. And one thing I don't think I didn't like about math was it's just like it can't be questioned, you know? And that one thing about this movie is it's about questioning the norms, allowing women, allowing people aren't white into your business. And you watch this movie and all the guys, it's primarily older white men and younger white men too, to be fair. Actually, I shouldn't say that. So it's all white men, and they all wear white shirts and black ties. And that's how it was at NASA. So they all kind of look the same, and the women are the only ones who really dress different and have style. So I thought that was interesting that they all work in fields that aren't really questioned, but the movie is about questioning norms. So Mary is trying to become an engineer, and you know they just keep getting obstacles thrown in their way, and she becomes the first African American woman engineer at NASA, which was a tremendous feat. Dorothy became like the first supervisor to work there. It was cool to see the introduction of IBM computers come in. But yeah, just these women's journey. I wouldn't want to ruin too much of the movie, but you know, seeing the time frame of it was very cool. It was in the 60s. There was like a new modern song, I think Pharrell did it. I don't really like modern music in old movies that take place back then. Just a little. It wasn't overdone. It was only done for like one specific set of scenes. But yeah, it was cool to see that. And like I like seeing inside of NASA, and someone who doesn't like math and science, it got me interested. But yeah, just the obstacles these women had to overcome. Like, for example, Catherine had to run what she said was about a half mile to use the bathroom because she wasn't allowed to use the bathroom near the office where she worked because she's black. And like, I'm like, what is this? and then her boss, played by Kevin Costner, is just like, why are you gone? 40 minutes a day, you're gone. And he's like, where do you go? And she just goes off. That's one of my favorite scenes in the movie, where because I was waiting. I knew it was going to come. He was going to eventually ask her, where is she? Because he constantly got there, and where is she? You know, I need this person working. She's one of my smartest people. And so I really enjoyed that scene. It's my favorite scene in the movie. My only little thing I didn't like about the movie is there's like a side romance story with Catherine, and I kind of just wanted to see them at NASA doing their, you know, trying to move up the ladder and working hard and putting in their work to do that. You know, naturally there's undertones of race and segregation in the movie, but that doesn't stop these women. No, they have a goal on what they want to do. And Dorothy, Octavia Spencer's character, she goes into a library that's segregated. She shouldn't even be in there. They tell her to leave. They kick her out. But she ends up taking a book with her. And then she's not only taking the book to read it, to learn more about computer programming for herself. And this is the beginning of the computers. Like, NASA was one of the first ones to have them. And she's not only reading the book, but she's reading it to her children. She's showing them, you have to do what you have to do to get where you need to go. Mm. Mm. See, I just really liked that message, that saying, you know, you listen, don't let these stupid laws, because that's what the movie's telling you, is this stuff ain't gonna last forever. It ain't gonna last forever. Things are gonna get better. Things are gonna change. And one thing with science and math is, one thing I learned, especially with science, they don't like their theories questioned. They are what they are, and they don't like them questioned. And this movie is about questioning things. And I personally am someone who questions things, and probably too much, but I don't really care. That's who I am. It probably gets on some people's nerves. I know it gets on Q's nerves from time to time. It is what it is. She knows that's who I am. I question things. I question everything. If something doesn't make sense to me when I hear it, I question it. And I encourage everybody to question it. And question me telling you to question things. How are things ever going to improve and get better if we just rely on things of the past? Things are always advancing. So, yeah, that was a really good aspect of it. But yeah, like I said, the little romance story, I don't know. I guess, like, why do we have to have forced romance in there? Like, this is a movie about 3 strong African-American women in a time where the odds were against them by both being African-American and being women. And they overcame that. I think the romance thing kind of dulled that a little bit, if anything. And maybe I'm wrong. That's a nitpick. It's not a big deal. And maybe it's a time filler in the movie. I don't know. I didn't think it needed it. I think the movie was strong without it. And it probably needed to take you out of the workplace. I don't know why they did it. But yeah, the music in there is pretty good, except for that little song that they do, the modern song. I had that issue in the movie Gatsby. I don't know if anybody remembers that. Leo DiCaprio was in it. And it's in Gatsby was in like the roaring 20s. And then, you know, the jazz age. Jazz is huge. Jazz is a huge part of American history. And they did play jazz, and they proved that you can play jazz in this movie to keep the upbeat tone of it. But then they would have Jay-Z songs playing randomly. Like, nothing against Jay-Z. He's a great artist. But, like, his music doesn't belong in a movie in the 20s. It just seemed out of place, and it took me out. Anyway, I digress. Sorry. Anyway, I do absolutely recommend this movie. I recorded it. So Jay Blass had requested it. And then, I was scrolling through the TV menu, and I saw it was coming on later. I was going to be out of the house. So I just DVR'd it, recorded it, and I fast forward through the commercials and all that. So yeah, this movie was a much easier watch. I wouldn't say much easier watch, but it's a little bit more lighthearted. It's more palatable for everyone. Well, I do think we need to. This is a different part of our history, and I think it was very apropos that John F. Kennedy was in there, because John F. Kennedy was the president during the space race. So I like that they had a clip from him in there. He's one of my favorite people. And he was someone who, again, he questioned the way things were being done. he got in there and, well, and you saw, well, and questioning things is good, and he did the right thing, but like anyone who has questioned the way things are done and the power source, we see what's happened to them. You can look him up if you don't know already. One of my favorite people. So I thought it was very cool to have that little clip in there, just a little side thing. I only watched the show for a little bit, but Big Bang Theory, the guy Sheldon, he's in it. I thought that was kind of cool. He's like a scientist in there, and it's the characters that kind of are against them coming in there, because anytime these women walk into a room that wasn't designed for them, they are looked at funny, and mainly the Kevin Costner character. Listen, we got business to do. This woman, because he worked directly with Catherine, even though they all had an integral part to do with the space race, he said, listen, I don't care about your silly laws because they're meaningless. My job is to get us into space, to beat the Russians, do it safely, do it correctly, and this woman's going to help us get there. Let's keep it moving. And she also had a huge part of Apollo 11 getting to the moon. And the woman Catherine, played by Taraji P. Henson, she lived to be 101 years old. I saw afterward, and I was like, geez, that is amazing. It's just so cool to see. Like, this is a part of history that I didn't know anything about. I had no idea. Obviously, I learned about the moon landing, and I learned about the space race, all that in history class. Never once heard about this. So the movie being called Hidden Figures was very appropriate. Yeah, a couple of these chips and I'm gonna get those cookies. Make sure I save room for them. Yeah, guys, Hidden Figures, check it out. Please enjoy it. It's a fun watch. Especially if you got kids. This is a very kid-friendly movie, and it's something they can get something out of, no matter how old they are, no matter the race, boy or girl. Everyone will be able to gain something from this movie. So yeah, guys, these are fudge-covered Oreos. Now, I think I've seen these at the store. I don't know why I never bought them, but we're having them today. I mean, I may have had them when I was younger. These aren't new, I don't think. Let's check them out. Very good. Just like an Oreo, just like a chocolate covered Oreo. This has a little bit more chocolate in there involved. And I like it. I like that better. I think I like that. Man, do I like it better than a regular Oreo? I don't know. I'll get another one here. Get some more water, actually. I love Oreos. One of my favorite cookies. I got a few favorite cookies. Oreos are definitely one of them. Are they skimming on the Girl Scout cookies, by the way? I think they're shortening the batch. Like, the Girl Scouts, come on. Give us what you used to give us. I feel like the cookies are smaller. But if you're in the Girl Scouts or you have a child in the Girl Scouts, let me know. Is there some conspiracy going on with the Girl Scouts? Are they trying to save money and charge us the same amount? I don't know. I love Girl Scout cookies, but like I feel like it just, I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm older and I was small when I was littler. It just looked, I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. Guys, thank you so much for joining me today. Please check out Hidden Figures. Yeah, thank you for spending a few minutes with me today for this cheesesteak mukbang. I will see you guys again soon. Until then, please take care and be well.